My name's Heather Reid. My mother was Judy Posey, and my mom took me to church starting from little, and we used to go to Kenosha. I don't even remember the name of the church, but it was where Charlie was, and I asked the Lord into my heart when I was little.
How old were you?
10,
Oh.
9. I asked the Lord quite a few times. He would ask the altar call, and I would come up. Each time he asked it, because I guess I always knew I was a sinner, and so I wanted to make sure that my life was going to be towards God. And so I just kept, and so I remember Mike, he had to tell me, you don't have to keep going up. Mike Ruda.
Oh.
And so he told me that I didn't have to go up anymore. And then my years went on. I grew up in the church. I grew up in Racine Fellowship. I babysat for everybody that was there. I grew up and learned a lot of things from the different women from the church. I then got married, and I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought that's the way God was leading me, and so we got married. My marriage was very difficult.
How old were you then when you got
I was
married?
22 when I got married.
Okay.
And we had children when I was 25, and then after that. I have 3 children. We grew them up to believe in the Lord, and we went to church, but it all was a facade. My husband abused me. And in a lot of ways, emotionally, physically, it was a nightmare. And it came to a point where even my friends started seeing it. And it was very hard. And I started believing what he said. I believed that I wasn't beautiful. And I believed I wasn't worth anything. And I just lived it. And there came a point when I went to pick up my son from work. And on the way there, I had a car accident because of some medication that I had taken. And what ended up happening is I ended up divorcing my husband because of it. And because of a lot of other things. And so I spent these last 7 years trying to get away from all those evils. I was a hard one. God was chasing after me. And he gave me the scripture. But it's those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. And he kept bringing it back to me. Different situations would happen, and I would hear it in song, I would hear it in scripture, I would see it on the walls. But then there was a time when I went to a Catholic church with my aunt, and at that Catholic church the priest was talking about those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, God, my life is yours again. And I had to struggle to get past everything I've learned all those years. I was married for 23 years. And during that time, I prayed for a husband that would treat me with love and respect and kindness. And I just prayed because I still wanted, I still wanted to be loved. And so I prayed, and I met this gentleman online, actually. I met him on the computer. And I wasn't ready at that moment when we met. But God still had me pray. I still waited on the Lord. I waited on the Lord and grew stronger and more confident in myself, that to the point where if I were to get married and it wasn't God's will, that was the case. But the Lord brought Tony back to me. And we started dating again, and the Lord gave me the desires of my heart. And that's what I prayed for. I prayed for the new husband in my life that would treat me decent and feel the love that God wanted me to feel for the first time in my whole life. Mm-hmm. And I have such a marvelous, wonderful, amazing husband. And he has renewed my strength. And a couple weeks ago, he reminded me of the song, "Strength will rise as you wait upon the Lord." And I knew that he was saying, it's done. All of that garbage is done. And I have survived, and I have trusted in him, and he's given me this wonderful gift now.
Yeah.
And I can rest in him. Actually, my children have seen the difference in me. They saw me at the abuse time. And they saw me at my horriblest time when I was struggling with the Lord. And what I want them to see now is that the Lord is triumphant, and that he is merciful, and he's loving, and that he does answer prayer, and he does guide us, and he does love us. And I want my kids to see that. Right now, one major thing is that I want my youngest son, he has Crohn's disease, and I want him to know that God does help us, and that he does love us. Right now, he feels like God doesn't love him, and he's struggling with his relationship with God. And I just want him to know that look at my life. He has seen the struggles that I've had, and he has seen now the good times that I've had. And so he can see the difference in my life. And I want him to know that he can have that. That he can have that joy and that love from God. I want him to feel that way. My daughter, she knew about the abuse, and she always felt bad about it. And she has supported me this whole time. All these 7 years, she's supported me and helped me. And so now with being married again, she has seen the joy that I have in my heart and the joy that I've gotten from God. And so I want her to have that feeling too. And then my other son, my 24-year-old Brian, he struggled with the divorce. He's had a hard time with it. And now that I have a new husband and a new life, a new lease on life, he has seen that, and I want him to know that it's God that has done it in my life. And so I want him to learn that it's because of the gift that I've been given. They need to just trust God, and they need to Read the scriptures. Read those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength scriptures. And keep them in their hearts. And know that God is there. And they can walk through the difficult times when they remember those scriptures. They remember the songs and they hear the songs for encouragement. And I just had to give up myself and lay it before God. So that's what they need to do. They just need to lay it before God. And rest in His arms.